Hello, and welcome to a wet, cloudy day. It's not really raining, or at least not now. I think it's just damp and drizzly. So, but it's still a wonderful day to be outside. Hello. Anytime I can be outside or on the porch and still breathe. Yes, I'm catching my breath. It's good. It is good. I have heard of some people coming up with some very creative ideas for getting out and being able to communicate and be around people without being near them. And I know there's towns and cities where you are being told that you have to stay home unless you have a certain reason to go outside of your home. But one I heard of is trying to have a block party where everybody sits out on their front sidewalk and talks to the person to the right or the left on their front sidewalk. You still have all the distance that you are supposed to have, and you're still home. What an ingenious idea. And there's one my cousin put together. The town that I grew up, well, we say grew up in, we were actually out in the sticks, but it was our address growing up. It's got what we call a square, but it's like the outside is a square, the businesses, but in the center is this big round kind of a park, and it used to have this beautiful fountain with koi in the little koi pond in it. And of course they'd have to take them out during the winter and put them somewhere where they'd stay safe and warm. And other things, and that kind of, that was way back when I was a kid. But I think they've put another fountain in there. But now the police station is there, because it used to be in a really old building. That's what we claim it's famous for. And every Christmas, around Christmas time, they have a parade. So my cousin, she posted that everybody get in their car or vehicle at a specific time, I think 7 or 8, I think it was more like 7, because she said they're going to pack a picnic lunch. And go around the square. Now, it's a one-way, so I don't know what she was saying when you pass them. Of course, you could go, it's a wide, so you can go around somebody sometimes. But just to be waving and honking, like you did when some of us, when we would drag Maine, That's what we called it, Maine drag, when we were kids. Or teenagers, and all the kids would go around the square or whatever, honk at each other and decide whether we were gonna, we'd switch cars, which that's not what they're encouraging. Everybody has to stay in their own vehicle. But it's a way for everybody to get out and see another human. And these are some ideas that are awesome. I mean, we need this. We really need this. And even though you're home quarantining because your city has told you have to, as long as you keep that space maintained and you are on your property, why not go out and have your neighbor do the same and talk, or just play some music and have a sing-along, whatever you like to do. But I just think people are going a little crazy with a lot of the... I am I mean, you look at me, you can tell I am compromised health. So I am being very careful. But I wouldn't be afraid to get in my car and go drive, go driving around with Joe and wave at people who are doing the same thing, just so we can have some communication, even if it is signal. But we see each other. We'd actually be, in a way, conversing. But everybody stays in their vehicle. That I would not be afraid of doing. So I encourage people, if you have that, we're in a small town. We really haven't had, I don't know of any cases yet, and hopefully we won't. That's usually, a lot of this is that continues to be spread is by irresponsible people. That Robin was back on my bird bath just now. He just hopped down. You know me, if I catch something in nature, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna take a detour. But isolate, quarantine, whatever you call it, doesn't have to be like isolation, like in a hospital or something. And we have internet, we have computers, we have all kinds of ways of talking to each other. And I mean, I have used Facebook Messenger to talk to my kids and see my new granddaughter. She's a sweetie. And instead of last one I got a bunch of baby clothes, but those of course are probably playing a big part for this one. So this time I sent a sling that she can, because they weren't hearing so much about them up here when the last ones were born, but now it's, they're making some really good ones. So I sent her one that she could put the 2-year-old in and carry the baby in front, or let the 2-year-old run around. But she could put a 36-pound kid in there. That's I don't think I'd put quite that heavy. But we were able to personal message, and I was able to get to see the little one. And I have one granddaughter. She's so cute. But I have to sometimes kind of say, hey, okay, it's someone else's turn. But she likes to, they use their phone a lot of time because they don't like to sit down at a computer. So they'll use their phone and run around, and this one, she's one of the middle ones, and she is not shy at all that I can see. Excuse me. But she will get a hold of that, and she won't let you go. I let her have this camera to go around and say hi to people and stuff at a family gathering long before this stuff started, so I could get a record of it, because I couldn't maneuver through all of that very easily. And she would walk up to them, I see you. And if they didn't answer, I see you. Grandkids are great. Finally talked her in to let me see her older sister, Sandra. And of course, Sandra told me right away, she says, hi, Grandma, I'm helping Mommy cook. So, okay. That's pretty cool, because she's like maybe 7, 8. I don't keep track of their ages very well. My one granddaughter, she was 3 years old to me until she started school. And that wasn't preschool. I visualize them at this cute age, and I want them to stay there. But I guess it's a grandma thing. I do like them when they're growing up too. That girl, she's 14, gonna be 15. She's over here every once in a while, or was. She's not lately, but she was coming over to do cleaning. If you've seen her, you've probably seen Fifi sometimes on my videos. She's the one who does the puppets with me, and she's been on a couple of them. And she's sweet, and she's not afraid to put herself out there. Such a good smile. It's just, and watching the older ones grow up, the parents getting frustrated, it's like, oh, the memories. They will make their mistakes, and we will not like it. And sometimes they're going to make big mistakes, but you got to let them grow up. Squirrels. And I have 2 of them in the yard across the street. It's a vacant lot. I love to watch. These are kind of brownish red, and their little tails just kind of flop up and down like this. They've got the fluffy tails. Yeah. Don't isolate to the point where, if you can find a way to join a neighbor at a safe distance in a conversation or a relative, there's a lot of people using things like Zoom and Skype and all of those different things. Not sponsored. I could only wish. But I just hear people, I read comments where people are really getting panicked over this. And it's, they're like, oh, we're going to get through this, and then they're going to go out and it's going to start all over again. And it's like, no, actually, I don't think that's the case. Because there's a lot of people who don't know it. And they're building up the antigens, and they're coming up with treatments. It sounds like bad news every day, but a doctor came on the other day. I was listening to him, and he had such good advice. And he said, listen, the reason he did some research on why Italy had such a high mortality rate, and I think he said like 25% of the people in Italy are over 65, and a lot of the ones who did die from it had like some kind of coronary disease or heart disease, or they were diabetic, lung disease, or cancer. Their systems were already ravaged in some way. So, that's kind of why they've locked down the nursing homes, and I understand that. So, because that's a population we need to protect. So, I just don't panic. Okay. Let's talk about the gorilla in the room. I noticed after I started watching the footage back that I took on the porch that I had a big smudge of mascara up here and down here. I must have had a clump on the end of an eyelash, and it got smushed over all of it. But whatever. If you can ignore that, I hope you enjoyed the video. And we will see you Monday. Please do subscribe, click the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. And do take care of yourselves without the panic. There's really no need. Just be safe.